Hello and welcome back to Bricking It. So we've recently received images of all the summer wave of 2024 Lego Harry Potter releases. I'm just going to take a look. I'll give you my thoughts on some of the new sets. So we're going to start off with 76435, the Hogwarts Castle, the Great Hall. So I quite like this set. Not bad exterior. For once it doesn't seem to sacrifice interior play for exterior look, because we've got plenty of stuff that we can do on the inside. We've got the steps leading down to where we can attach the boathouse that we got in the spring. Minifigure selection isn't bad. Let's have a look at the inside. So as ever, the Great Hall has to make some compromises, and they've gone for just one or possibly two dinner tables for the students. The teacher's table is almost non-existent. The new banners printed on 2x6 tiles look nice. I like the way they've got the floating candles working on those trans-clear clips. The grey clouds in the sky is a nice addition. I like that. Little Hogwarts sticker. Seem to have a gem up in the bell tower for no apparent reason. Oh, Philosopher's Stone, obviously. How did I not get that immediately? So underneath the Great Hall, hidden inside the rockwork, we seem to have 3 spots for new play modules. We get a bathroom featuring the troll, we get a Hogwarts common room type build, and a corridor to go between the two. These are quite interesting. They seem to slide into place on rails, and then they seem to have expandable floors so that they act kind of like a playset, almost similar to the old Hogwarts Moments books. It just means, unlike the previous iteration of Hogwarts with the fixed modules, you can actually open them out and have a bit of expanded space for play. So let's have a little look at the minifigure selection. So we've got a new troll mould. I mean, that's obviously the most striking new addition. Got that interesting face. Initially, I was a bit disappointed I didn't have one of the new Big Fig separate heads, so you could pose it a little bit more. But now, you know, with the moulding of the ears on there, it's starting to grow on me. Or why they have the nose creases when there's no nose marked on does look a little weird. The Big Fig arms, maybe a bit chunky, but overall it's a nicely proportioned figure. Not sure about the club. That looks like it was a bit of an afterthought. So the student selection, obviously Harry, Ron and Hermione. And then we've got Terry Boot, Daphne Greengrass and Leanne. So we've got representatives from all of the houses there. A new house ghost in the Fat Friar. It's good to see. Looking at the advent calendar a bit later on, we'll see we're adding more ghosts to Hogwarts, and I do hope that they complete the full selection of house ghosts in the fullness of time. As far as professors go, we get a new version of Professor Quirrell in a dark brown suit. Dumbledore, slight variation of something we've seen before. Looks like we've got an unprinted version of his hat from the old CMF. And then we get a brand new Professor Vector. Now the costumes that are seen in the movies are a lot more elaborate than they've gone for here. It really feels like a bit of a phone-in for Professor Vector. She's got kind of the ratty hair. Dumbledore's hairpiece that he's actually got here, I think, would have been better for Professor Vector. Obviously with black hair instead of white, but that little cap that he's wearing almost looks perfect for the cap we see her wearing at one of the Great Hall scenes. So yeah, overall, pretty impressed with the Great Hall. Kind of gives us an idea of where they're going with future additions. See around the bottom of the rockwork, we've got a little bit of water, just to give a suggestion of the Black Lake. Got a couple of other potential connection points for other modules just beneath the courtyard, but yeah, like it. So staying within the castle, we've also got a new potions class. So this is obviously another one of these slide-in modules. It's 8x16, so it's exactly the same size as the standard modules for the previous iteration of Hogwarts. And it looks like it's going to stand in, or slide in rather, to the same sort of position as the Hufflepuff common room or the bathroom. So we'll be able to fit different classrooms in different spots. So you can lay out your Hogwarts how you want it to be laid out. Looks like we get 2 of the new portrait tiles in this classroom, and there's a whole host of new bits and bobs. So I like the exploding cauldron contents that we seem to get in trans bright green and possibly trans dark blue. Got a couple of the new apothecary bottles with the rounded end, and we get one of those in trans yellow and one in trans orange. Other bits and bobs we've seen before, but I really do like the printed tiles up the top. I'm assuming they're printed. They all look exactly the same, and I'm sure if they were stickers they would have done a bit more variety, but it just nicely gives that detail around the top of the potions class. We've got these bell jars with various different ingredients, parts for making potions. I like the fact that the stickered blackboard, which is a little bit lackluster, they could have done it on possibly a reddish brown panel to at least make it appear as if there's a border around the backboard, but that's a minor quibble. But each of the ingredients held in these jars matches an ingredient needed for a potion on the blackboard. Like that very much. Bit of stickerage in the background, very similar style to the Hogwarts Moments Potions class. That's nice. It sort of provides a bit of continuity there. And on each of the tables we see the contents of the old potions book now being used as a separate bit of instruction sheet for the potion making. Quite like the potion desks, quite interesting with the little platform for the cauldrons, and then Snape's master cauldron at the back. It's quite an interesting build. So obviously this folds out and folds back up again, so it folds into an 8x16. That reddish brown part at the side that holds all the potion ingredients will clip next to the yellow apothecary bottle. Looks like it's got a little clip built into itself over there, and this will all fold up into an 8x16 module and fit underneath the Great Hall. So I'm assuming they're going to continue this kind of slide in slide out classroom build. It's a kind of style that I actually considered when I was building mine, especially similar to what I've done with the room of requirements, where I can swap the modules in and out. And I was going to have this very similar kind of idea for my Hogwarts, where the castle itself was just a big framework and it allowed me to concentrate on the outside looking perfect, and I could slot each individual classroom or location in as I needed it. And they seem to be going for the same sort of idea with this latest iteration of Hogwarts. Very much liking the potions class. Have a little look at the minifig selection. Not bad. Hermione, young Pansy Parkinson, Seamus Finnegan again. Obviously we're going to get him in potions as we did with the Hogwarts Moments books. It's his most famous class for blowing himself up. But the standout to this one, I think, obviously is the brand new version of Professor Snape. So he's got that leg printing with the robes. Nothing really new there, but instead of the purple vest underneath, we've got it in dark bluish grey by the looks of things, and some arm printing for those button cuffs. Very nice. I'm assuming his face selection on the other side is his trademark raised eyebrow, but I haven't seen any shot of that alternate face yet. So that is our potions class. As we're talking about Hogwarts interiors, I'll just have a quick discussion of the new advent calendar. This is quite a nice little set. Nothing earth-shattering as usual with an advent calendar. We get a Dumbledore that we've largely seen before, but in a slightly different colour, this time bright red instead of dark red, I think. Professor Flitwick, similar torso to what we got in the Hogwarts Moment set, but a different beard piece. We're not getting that exclusive beard piece. That remains exclusive to the Hogwarts Moment set. The buildable house creatures are quite nice. They're not bad. They're fairly obvious what each one is. I do like the fact that we're getting a copy each of the new style of house banners, featuring that bronze eagle for Ravenclaw instead of a black raven, which has been wrong for so many years. It's nice to see that we don't have to shell out £100 for the sorting hat to get those pieces. And by the way that Bricklink sellers tend to break up advent calendars and sell off the parts individually, they should be readily available in the fairly near future, or at least early 2025. So what else have we got? Christmas tree dining tables. So these smaller dining tables look like you might be able to replace the one large table in the Great Hall with these 4 individual tables. Not sure if that's much of an improvement, but it just does individualize the house tables. We've got the new ghost figure using that large skirt piece, and this is one of the carol singing ghosts from the Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone. And then 4 new student horsos featuring scarves and jumpers, which is quite nice. I'm not sure about the huge house logo on the tail of each of the scarves. They're okay, I suppose, but yeah, I think I would have just preferred the plain striped scarves. So that's that advent calendar. I'm sure that'll be out in September. Okay, let's have a little move on to our next set. And staying in the grounds of Hogwarts, going to have a look at Aragog in the Forbidden Forest. So nothing particularly earth-shattering here. I much prefer, I keep going back and forwards on whether I like the new Aragog more than the previous version. I definitely like the legs and the body. I think it's let down by the head. That printed curved tile is okay. The mandibles sort of do the job. I don't know. I like it overall. I think I might try and hybridize it with the old version. Get another one of these little clip-on Forbidden Forest pieces we can add to our Forbidden Forest set, and new versions of Harry and Ron. Yeah, Harry and Ron, very similar to previous versions that we've seen of them in this scene. Nothing earth-shattering. It's a nice set, sort of pocket money prices, not too expensive, so maybe I'll add it in. So now one of the flagships of our new June release is the Triwizard Tournament, the Arrival 76440. It's the Durmstrang ship and the bow baton carriage, and I must say I am pleasantly surprised by this set. I had a feeling, based on a lot of rumours, it was going to be tiddly and they were going to be terrible little builds, but these two look wonderful. I very much enjoy them. So let's look at the carriage first. So obviously the first thing we notice is just the one horse, and fair enough, I suppose. You know, it's a much smaller carriage. It would have looked outweighed by the horses. I think that it's going to be quite easy to add on extras. I'm looking at the wings and I can't quite work out if those are dual molded or if it's just the way the light is being used in the render. They appear to be the same kind of silver wings that we got with Buckbeak. Possibly not, I don't know. But anyway, it shouldn't be too difficult if you wanted to add more horses to make that a slightly more impressive build. Got a nice printed bow baton symbol on the door. I'm thinking that's printed. Could be a sticker. I've got to be honest, I prefer a sticker to use elsewhere for when the sticker sheets hit the secondary market. Let's have a little look at the minifigs. It's quite an interesting selection. We've got Barty Crouch Senior. I'm surprised they gave him the bowler hat instead of the Homburg hat that we got with the Noir Detective in the series minifigures. I think that suits better than the bowler hat and would have made him look a bit more distinct from the Cornelius Fudge we got a couple of years ago. Madame Maxime is back. Similar torso print to the one she got in the previous version of the Beaubaton's carriage. Obviously that's the dress she's wearing for the Arrival, but we get the long woody stroke avatar legs, and I don't like them. I don't like it. It looks very odd. I think I would have preferred the printed skirt piece again, but then she wouldn't be able to sit down in the carriage, so what do I know. Moving on to the Durmstrang ship. This is beautiful. This is a lovely piece. It looks like we've got 4 new shields up on the side, and I'm assuming they're going to be replicated on the other side. Don't know if they're prints or stickers. Quite hard to tell, but judging by the price point for the ship and the fact that there's stickers all over it, given a lot of the other detail like the gun ports and the detailing up the side of the cabin, as well as the eye on the figurehead, I'm guessing those shields might be stickers rather than prints. We get these lovely big sails, the beautiful printed Durmstrang eagle on the top. It's a really nice build. The tilt at the back, it's a proper medieval cog, very nicely designed and built. I really like the lanterns up on the top at the back there. It's very cleverly done. There's an inverted lantern with a goblet in that, and then obviously a stud with a hole in the middle and a horn. It's just one of those really little interesting parts uses that I very much appreciate. As for minifigures, we get a Karkaroff. His hair is a little more elaborate. I would have thought maybe the Loki hair from the CMF would have been more appropriate, possibly in dark brown. He looks okay, similar body. Just nice I'll be able to retire my mock now and add a new Igor Karkaroff. Crumb looks nice. It's nice to see him in his overcoat, and I like the fact they've given him that fur collar piece in dark tan this time round. Yes, I think this is a really nice set, good for the price, and quite a nice minifig selection. All right, let's move on. So next up, let's have a look at the latest addition to Diagon Alley, and this is Ollivander's and Madame Malkin's robes. Set number 76439, and we get 2 more shops to add to our Diagon Alley, and I actually quite like this. I was a little underwhelmed with Weasley's Wooded Weezers, and the Outpost very much felt like an afterthought, being so tall and skinny, but having looked at the Wizarding World Resort and seen the actual outpost there, it made sense. It was fine. So we're obviously downscaling Diagon Alley for these playset types. So they're clearly much smaller buildings than we got in the full Diagon Alley playset from years ago. But they are really not skimping on the detail. They're quite nice pair of exteriors. Madame Malkin looks just like it does in the movies. We've got some stickers on the exterior of Madame Malkin's there. Some notices on the outside wall. Nice exteriors. Nothing too interesting on the build front. Nice detailing around the roof. Does make it stand out, like the purple and the lavender there on the outside. Ollivanders, very nice. I do like it. We've got the same sign it's got on the other one. They've added a bit more distressed detailing to the sticker on this version. And then we get this lovely signpost with excellent stickers giving adverts to various other locations in Diagon Alley. And even if I don't use these buildings as intended, I'm definitely going to get use out of those stickered signs. So there's lots of interesting things about this new set. In particular, I think we should probably focus on the brand new selection of wand pieces. So we look at the interior of Ollivander's here, and we've got what appears to be 3 or 4 new molds. We've got one with a slight curve to the handle, one that's got a curly pattern all the way down, and one with that bulb back end, one with an angled back end, and one that looks like it's got some kind of creature head, possibly a snake head pattern on the end as well. And then we get those in what appears to be 2 colours, medium nougat and reddish brown. Then at least one standard wand, not even one of the spell casting types that we saw in the Battle of Hogwarts set, just a standard one for Harry. So yeah, this is quite nice. I do like the interior. I mean, it's quite simple. It's just stacks and stacks of plates and tiles, various jumpers and things, but it really does give that packed claustrophobic feel to the inside of Ollivander's. Got that ladder that runs side to side across the interior, little flower on the desk next to that cash register build, and it looks like our wand displays angle out to give us a bit more room for play and then fold back in for a square-sided building. Interior of Madame Malkin's, not too much to write home about, quite interesting. Get a little showroom area downstairs, couple of mannequins upstairs, just a standard torso and then a unsorted Hogwarts torso, couple of hats, and then this sewing machine detail, which is quite cleverly done. Quite like the little sewing machine. Madame Malkin's prints aren't super inspiring, reusing the hat mould from Madame Pince in last year's Dumbledore's office. Interesting trans pink plume on the top there. And she's obviously got her measuring tape around her neck. I don't recall ever seeing Madame Malkin in the films, so this is an unusual one. I'm sure she does pop up in Diagon Alley very briefly, or at least the costume was made, even if we didn't see her on screen for any length of time. It's just quite interesting that we're getting characters that we've not seen on screen before but are named in the books. So other minifigures, of course, we get Harry wearing his outfit he wore on his first visit to Diagon Alley. We've got those taped up glasses. Not sure which version this is, if it's the same as was in the Hogwarts Express or Diagon Alley. Looks like Ollivander's torso print is new because that was previously dark red and now it appears to be dark brown. Get the Flower Witch, who's an addition I was going to make. I've tried various different versions of a mock for her to add to my Diagon Alley, but I don't need to do that anymore. Get another new, 2 new minifigs. One male one in a wheelchair and one apparently female one with the short legs. I don't know if this is supposed to be a particular student. I've not seen any list of names yet, but it's nice to see some new figures. The young girl doesn't look particularly Wizarding worldy. I suppose the lad in the chair doesn't either, but he does appear to, he's got that scarf and jacket. It's a bit more old worldy. But a couple of nice minifigures and not a bad selection. 6 minifigures in this, plus those 2 extra torsos and a couple of hats. Yeah, all round, quite a nice little set. Don't mind it at all. Probably buy it, even if it's just for the minifigs. For a little sense of completeness, let's have a look at 76433. The Buildable Mandrake. I haven't got a lot to say. I don't like this type of set. I don't see the point of this type of set. I'm sure it looked quite nice if displayed up with the Hogwarts icons set with the Hedwig and the potion ingredients and the books. It's another piece of, human size decoration that can go with a human scaled set of displays. They've got so much good stuff in the minifigure scale, and they've bought us so many interesting things. I don't know why they're carrying on with these kind of filler sets. It feels like when we had Dobby and things like that, they really weren't ready to launch the new wave, so we were getting some stuff just to keep the line alive. And this feels like something that would have come out during that period towards the end of last year, when things weren't particularly hotting up. But now that we've got all these new sets and the new Hogwarts is starting to kick in, I'm not sure why this set is, but it is, and I'm sure people will enjoy it. It's quite a faithful rendition of the mandrakes from the movies. I like the fact that you get the pot. I mean, not a bad parts pack, but not one that I'm going to be buying. And then a final look at 76427 Buckbeak, and I don't know what's going on with the scale of this. I thought this was going to be another flapping wings type creature to go with Forks and Hedwig and the Horntail, and that would have seemed appropriate to put him into that set, that sub theme of flying creatures. But no, he's just a posable creature, more in the vein of the Patronus. Again, it's a fairly nice display model. We've got the buildable Raven and a couple of pumpkins. It's all right. I don't see the point of it, really. It feels like a bit of a cash-in type model. The tail looks a bit clunky. I'm interested in those wing attachments and what appears to be, not that I can particularly see, but it appears to be a new type of rotating connection that holds those wings in place. Not one I've seen before, but I'm sure people who know much more about other themes will be able to tell me how wrong I am on that one. So Buckbeak, it's fine, but it's not for me. So there we go. That's a little quick look, well, not particularly quick as it turned out, at the June 2024 releases, as well as a brief look at the Advent calendar coming in September. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave us a like. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this new set of releases. And to see a wide selection of interior mock builds from across the Wizarding world, please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.